It's always a... Hey. I'm late.
All right, we're just gonna get you mic'd up, and if you want to kind of do like a little like primp for a moment,
Yeah,
that's cute.
I can do that. Got to make sure my belly's not.
First, can you both just go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Ladies first.
Okay, I'm Jennifer Hoffman. I'm the hand therapist.
And I'm Tony Myers, and I'm the patient. But Jennifer helped.
I've been doing this since November of 2 years ago. I broke a big bone joining my hip. I should be in bed the rest of my life. And so I'm trying to get rid of this walker.
Yeah.
Well, my story is I've been battling with some neuropathy all over my body, but there was a primary spot in my lower back that it moved from my right side to my left where I was having extreme spasms.
Did you tell her about me? I can't be brief.
Yeah.
So I had a little tiny cut on the back of my hand, and I started feeling like maybe I was getting sick. Or I remember him standing right here, and he said, introduced himself. He said, "You have necrotizing fasciitis. It's the most deadly infection on the planet." He said, "We're going to have to rush you to surgery immediately, and I just need you to understand that your life is in serious danger, and there's a good chance we're going to have to cut off your arm."
And I got a house, it's a split foyer, but it's got 13 steps, and I can't make it up and down.
What do you think your biggest challenge has been in PT?
I want to walk,
Yeah.
and he's helping me.
So some days he has a little bit more get me up than others. The really big thing with Ron is he always wants to just keep progressing. So he gets really, really nervous if he feels like he's regressing. So if he has an off day, we just spread the treatment out a little bit longer, give him a little bit more rest period, maybe give him a few different types of exercises to mix things up a little bit.
But occasionally I get out of a chair, but these spasms just continue to progress across my back. And it just got to the point where it was pretty debilitating. I would shout out in public because it would spasm.
Told me, he said, "We'll take your lat muscle out of your back, lay it on there. We'll do a mesh sleeve of skin graft." He goes, "Here's the deal." He goes, "Most important part of this is the rehab." And he said, "I will not release you to anybody but her."
I had so many therapists, over the year. It's almost a year and a half now, and they're terrible. The one looked in my cabinets, came out with 2 Campbell's soup and put in my hands. That's exercise.
Oh,
Did you do that this week? I said, yeah, I did that. Well, what good is that arm exercise going to do with my knees?
How old are you, Ron?
I'll be 95 in a couple of weeks.
In a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
The 21st of April. And I've lived. I'm going to live till I die. I'm going to paint the town and turn it upside down. I'm going to live, 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 live until I die.
Oh, I love it.
First day you came in, I think you were feeling like, is there hope for me?
Yeah.
Can I get any better? And
Right.
It's like, okay, let me listen to your story and piece it together. And it was so nice and rewarding that after day one, you're like, gosh, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
So, and we kind of talk about where he's been, where he's at now.
Right.
Just try to get his mind off what's going on out there and, kind of focus on, hey, we're going to make you feel good today, and kind of joke around.
The time I came, the spasms were progressing. It was like I would have more and more and more and more, and they would last for longer periods of time, like over weeks instead of just days. That has reversed. Every time I come in, I speak with Kelly, and she always asks me, "How you feeling?" And we really do have an open communication. And this is going to sound like rah-rah Kelly, but I mean, quite frankly, there are times, I'm dealing with stuff at work or at home or whatever, and I come in, I'm kind of like, yeah, I really don't want to do this today, but I know I need to. And we have a communication process. We're not just talking about my PT. She's very good about opening up and talking about just life in general. So it kind of relaxes me. And then by the time we're done with the session, I'm like, oh, wow, we're done. And I feel good.
I feel like you came in with days where you just were so dejected that you wouldn't try. And when people go through difficult recovery, sometimes that happens. I don't feel like that happened with
I
you.
didn't have a down day.
Even when, and I
really
will
didn't.
also say he was in times where he was in lots and lots and lots of pain, not just from this process, but he also had to have a flap taken from his side, from his latissimus.
I came over here, and at that time, I really literally could not. I could get my hand around a plastic water bottle that was empty, but I couldn't lift it. I couldn't do anything. And I remember, I mean, I could literally not do anything. And they were very positive, and just this whole team here, and got me to where I am now. I think I was here 3 days a week for about 6 months, and so thank God for you.
Oh,
But I have no pains in my knees.
Oh, that's great.
I think it's
Ron.
wonderful.
That is wonderful.
I limped into the clinic the first time, and I was kind of hunched over. My back was, I was leaning into it, and you could tell it. It was physically there. We got done, and I stood up, and I don't want to use the word miraculous, but I hadn't felt that good physically from top to bottom, and that was like session 1. So you have to kind of look forward to what the result's going to be at the end of the session. And every time I walk out of here, I'm got a little more spring in my step.
If you could choose one word to describe your treatment with Ray and your experience at Axes, what word would you use?
Oh, it's just amazing.
Relief.
I say terrible.
I'll start you on this one. The summer wind
Came blowing in from
across the sea.
It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. Da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da da. The summer wind.
The the summer wind. I wanted to say southern wind.